You've probably heard about the 1.5 degrees Celsius target for global warming, right? It's been framed as this kind of safe harbor for our planet. But what if it's not? What if the very latest science is telling us it's actually not enough to save our planet's ice? Well, today we're going to dig into why that might just be the case.
So let's just get right to it. This is the big question, the one that's driving this whole explainer. Is that 1.5-degree goal really going to be enough to stop a catastrophic meltdown of our glaciers and our massive ice sheets?
Well, according to two major new studies, the answer is a pretty startling no. It seems we're already on a path to some really big irreversible changes, because the tipping points for massive ice loss, they're a lot closer than we ever thought.
Okay, so to really get what's going on, we need to look at the two main players here, the world's glaciers and its giant ice sheets. You can almost think of them as two sides of the same ice cube. And the scary thing is, the latest findings about both of them are telling a very similar and very alarming story.
So, what's at stake here? Why does this matter so much? Well, for one, glaciers are the freshwater source, the drinking water, the irrigation, for almost 2 billion people. 2 billion! And the ice sheets? Oh, they're holding enough frozen water to raise global sea levels by a staggering 65 meters. So yeah, they're both absolutely vital, and both are in serious trouble. All right, let's start with glaciers. To understand this, we need to wrap our heads around a really important idea that scientists call committed loss. And this isn't some far-off prediction. This is about the ice that is already doomed to melt because of the warming we've already caused. And that number is, well, it's huge, 39%. Just let that sink in for a second. Even if we could magically stop all emissions this very second, we are already locked into losing 39% of all the glacier mass on Earth. That's already baked in.
You know, it can be hard to picture this stuff, but one of the lead scientists, a Dr. Harry Zekalari, came up with this brilliant way to think about it. He says to imagine the world's remaining glacier ice as a pizza. The part we're already set to lose, well, that's the slice of the pizza you really don't want to eat.
So here it is, the global pizza, if you will. That big blue slice represents the 39% of total glacier mass that's already on its way out. It's committed. It's going to melt, no matter what we do now.
But, it gets even more intense when you start looking at specific regions. Take the European Alps, for example. For that part of the world, it's not 39%, it's more than half. Over half of the ice in the Alps is already committed to be lost.
And then you get to a place like Arctic Canada South. And honestly, the numbers are just jaw-dropping. We're talking about a massive 80% of the ice there is already on a path to disappear. This was a huge shock to scientists, because, a lot of older studies only looked ahead to the year 2100. They completely missed this long-term slow-motion collapse. Okay, so the story with glaciers is, well, it's pretty sobering. But now we've got to talk about the real giants in the room, the ice sheets in Greenland and Antarctica. These aren't just sleeping giants anymore. They're waking up, and they are a global alarm bell for sea level rise.
And the crazy thing is, this isn't some super complex computer simulation we're talking about. This is literally written in the rocks, in Earth's own history. The last time our planet was just a little bit warmer than it is today, sea levels were 6 to 9 meters higher. That's not a model, that's a fact. The evidence is just crystal clear.
And if you thought that was scary, some brand new research takes it to another level. It turns out these giants are incredibly sensitive. A tiny, and I mean tiny, increase in ocean temperature, just 1/4 degree Celsius, could be enough to trigger the irreversible collapse of the entire West Antarctic ice sheet.
And a collapse like that? We're talking about locking in about 4 meters of global sea level rise. 4 meters. That's enough to swamp coastal cities all around the world. And the most terrifying part? We are incredibly close to crossing that line.
Okay, so all of this can sound pretty bleak, right? But this is where we get to the most important part. This isn't about giving up hope. It's about realizing just how much every single fraction of a degree, every 1/10 of a degree, really, truly matters for the world we're going to leave behind. Think about it like this. For the glaciers, every single 1/10 of a degree of extra warming, bam, another 2% of global ice is gone for good. And for the ice sheets, sea level rise is picking up speed so fast that if we stay on our current path, it's going to become almost impossible for us to adapt to.
And this is what it all boils down to. We're standing at a fork in the road, with two very different futures in front of us. If we somehow manage to limit warming to 1.5 degrees, we can still save more than half of the world's glaciers. But if we stay on the path we're on now, heading towards almost 3 degrees, we'll be lucky to save just a quarter of them. The difference is just immense.
And that right there, that's the glimmer of hope in all of this. I mean, listen to how the study's authors put it. We can literally double the amount of glacier ice we save, double it, if we hit that 1.5 degree target compared to where we're headed now.
So, where does that leave us? What are we supposed to do with all this information? Well, it means this is not some distant, abstract problem for another generation. This is our choice, right now. The ice is falling, for sure, but the final chapter, that's not written yet.
And I think this is the thing that really hits home. The decisions we make, like right now in this decade, are going to lock in consequences that will last for thousands of years. The timescale is just mind-boggling, but our window to actually do something about it is closing fast.
One scientist, Dr. James Kirkham, put it in a way that's, well, it's pretty blunt, but it's true. He said we aren't just passively watching our glaciers disappear. With our collective inaction, we are actively killing them.
So, it really all comes down to this, doesn't it? The science couldn't be clearer. The tipping points are so much closer than we realized, and every single fraction of a degree matters more than we ever knew. The ice is falling. The choice is ours. The only question left is, what future are we going to lock in?